What's up, YouTube? Turn on Instagram here. YouTube, what's up, man? Let's talk a little real estate investing. Felt like I did a little double talk today. If you're in my trading group and you're in Discord, I may have done what appeared to be double talk. On one hand, I was kind of, did I spell it right? What's up? We're here in beautiful Panama City Beach. Let's go live. What's up? What's up? We got two platforms going here. We got some beer. So I'm talking to two cameras. My man Ashton last night, where's my camera at? Right there. Thank you. My man Ashton last night was telling me about a device that allows you to go live on multiple. What's up, man? What's up? I can't really read the comments on YouTube as easy as I can on Instagram, but that's all right, man. Always remember, man, whatever you think about comes about. Whatever you focus on grows. My shirt here says live broke. It might not look like I live very broke right now because I really don't, but I used to live pretty broke. So I had a kid where he's like, man, you're always talking about saving money, this and that. All I see is you spend. Like, yeah, you're probably right, bro. But I'm older, man. I've been at the game a minute. What's up, Professor? So I may have done some what appeared to be a little double talk in our Discord group, and I wanted to clear that up. Now, one of the things I was saying about real estate is that from time to time, if you know, because a guy emailed me, and I showed it in there. A guy emailed me, and he said he had heard my live the other day. And sometimes, you know, it can almost sound like double talk when you're listening to someone because maybe they didn't explain it well, or it's taken out of context of what the bigger picture is or what we're talking about. And I was talking about this idea of buying a house, living in a house for 1 or 2, you know, where you need to live there 2 years, becomes your primary residence. You can sell said property. All of the money you make is completely tax-free, and then you could level up and buy a nicer house in a better neighborhood, but we still want to buy the cheapest house so we can put sweat equity, and you could level up and you could walk your way into a mansion if you so chose to do that. And that's, you're allowed to flip a house every 2 years if it's your personal residence and you pay no taxes, up to about $500,000 profit. So he was saying, and I probably threw him off a little. And he was like, wow, should I do that instead of building out a portfolio of rental properties? And I'm like, no, bro, these are two different things, man. What I'm talking about there is a house hack in the sense that how you're living. So if you could live in a house, and while you're living there, now most of you cannot do this. First off, you're not going to do it. And second off, getting your spouse on board will probably be next to impossible. It is very hard to get women on board for this. To live in a house that's kind of jacked up, and then as you live there, maybe sleeping on cots, you're working on the property, and over a year or two, you guys fix it up, cash flowing it from your money at work, and then you flip it, you make a big sale. Very hard to get people to do. It is a great strategy, though. And I was like, no, man, that's where you're living. Like, you guys all live somewhere. And you can decide that where I live, like here at the beach where I'm living right now, you get to decide where you live. And where you live could be a roll-up, meaning your plan in 2 years is to flip this house, to go buy a bigger, nicer house that's beat down in a nice neighborhood, to then do it again and do it again. My friend Rick Jarman did that, and he lived next to the coach of the University of Alabama. He went from a maintenance man to living next to the coach of the University of Alabama. He paid $700-something thousand for a fixer-upper house in a multi-millionaire neighborhood. And then, you know, who knows how much it was worth when he passed away. That's different than going out and buying single-family real estate, right? But I'm saying that's a hustle, man. Meaning all areas of your life, you can be making these exchanges that make sense. And you got to ask yourself, is the way I'm living make sense? Is it, you know, the car that I'm driving, is it increasing? Like, you can begin to look at every exchange, and I don't mean every one to where you're unhappy. I'm just saying if you have goals, and you know, for me, my goals were cash. I needed cash. I needed fucking money. I don't know any other way to say it. To buy real estate, I needed money and lots of it, which means I got to cut the holes. I can't have the shit going out. We can't be eating, drinking, and having sex with it. If that's happening, then I can't accomplish my goals, right? And so I wanted to keep the money. And so we've got to plug the holes. And if you have my first book, You Don't Have to Die Broke. Look at this. Follower sent me this. It says, live broke. Got the Money Flow gang there. And says, but you don't have to die broke. That's beautiful, right? And in that book, I talk about the bucket system. The bucket system. And the point of the bucket system was, hey, everyone has this bucket. We all got to pay insurance. We've all got cell phones. We all have to eat, right? People make fun of my Coors Light. They're like, oh, look at that. You should be drinking Stella. It's like, yeah, bro, I don't want to spend $500 a month on beer, right? That's ridiculous to me. I like this beer. I don't need to spend that much money on beer. So yeah, maybe if I drink like you guys, like sissies, like little girls, if I drink that kind of that much beer, then yeah, I could spend on Stella. But I drink a lot of beer, so that would be stupid. I would be spending ridiculous sums of money on beer. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I have to look at all this. I have to look at where can I plug holes so that I can keep my money. And that's all that was about, you know. And it's not that, oh, we want to live, you know, I want to, what's up, Chris? The legend. What's up, baby? Look at this backdrop. And so, what I was saying in Discord, and it may sound a little bit like double speak, was I was saying, listen, if you own a bunch of real estate, there's going to come a point, because in this guy's email that he said, you know, hey, you know, cash flow in real estate, it just always pays you. And I'm like, yeah, until the roof goes bad and you got to spend $9,000 on a new roof and you're making $250 a month on the house. I don't know about you, but if you do the math, $9,000 eats up a lot of cash flow. So when you're analyzing something like real estate, it's not just money in your pocket. You have to look at the total return. And total return is appreciation. So is it appreciating, right? Well, appreciation doesn't put any money in your pocket. Not right now. It might, like let's say this condo goes up 50 grand. Okay, my net worth went up 50 grand, but that ain't putting no money in my pocket, right? So that's why it's important as you're getting into this investing thing, as you're getting into real estate and dividend stocks and these kind of things, you gotta make money, man. You gotta be an earner, man. Like you gotta make money because sometimes these investments need money. Like your Ethereum drops, your Bitcoin drops. Good, you need to put some money in it, right? So that you can utilize that volatility to level up, man. So if you buy an asset and it's a quality asset and the price drops in half, rather than thinking of getting out, you need to think, how do I use this volatility to my advantage? And I can buy more now, right? Well, you need money to do that. Same in real estate, man. It's gonna need a new roof. It's gonna need a water heater. Your tenant may put his wife's head through the window, right? This shit happens. Well, now multiply it by 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors. Well, I have 17 houses. That's 17 roofs, guys. That's a CapEx liability that's staring me in the face. And if you got 17 properties, every year you're buying a new roof. Every year you're buying water heaters. Every year you're putting in a new bathtub. You're putting in new sinks. Every year somebody's beating the hell out of their wife at one of your properties. Every year, people dumb shit is happening. And you have to have money. In some years, you may lose money as far as cash flow, meaning money comes out of your pocket and goes into your properties because you have to protect your properties, right? And there's no cash flow. But yet your net worth went up. So you're worth more, but you ain't got no scratch in your pocket. Sometimes the stock market will do that to you. The asset value might come down, right? But you don't have it. Doesn't mean you own less AT&T. I still own the same amount of AT&T. My dividend's still the same, but the share price comes down. And so I had this kid, and I've gotten a lot of these, and I know it's just because they're young, and they have, obviously I'm older, so I've had time to kind of sit back and see things and learn from my own mistakes, like chasing yield. Oh, this pays 15% dividend yield. Well, that probably means they're about to cut their dividend or about to go out of business. Like, it's not normal for a company to pay a 15% dividend. So you don't want to chase, like, big dividends. You want to chase dividends that don't get cut off. Meaning, I'd rather have a dividend from Starbucks that pays 2-3% than a 15% dividend in a company that's about to go bankrupt, right? I mean, that's just common sense. Well, you have to figure this shit out, man. Like, they didn't teach you that in high school. You come in the market, you see dividend, you see like a guy like Chris or myself, we're posting these dividends, and you're like, man, I want to get in on that. Oh, look at this one. This one pays 15%. Well, do you know how to analyze the company and understand, is that dividend safe? Is it good? It might be. And you say, well, when would it be good? Well, let's say it's a mortgage REIT, and the whole stock market's getting smashed because the Federal Reserve is pushing everything down, right? They're going to raise interest rates. Stock market panics. Well, guess what? A company like AG&C, the dividend company there's a million of these mortgage REITs. Yeah, their yield may go up pretty high because the stock came down. And so that situation, you may be able to catch a bump or catch something, right? And so you have to see the big picture, the entire environment. Where is the stock market? Why is this thing paying such a high return? What is the reason for it? But the kid that sent me that email, he said, I'm gonna buy these stocks that pay 15%, and I'm gonna put a 5 or 2%. I mean, it was some ridiculous stop loss. I'm gonna put a stop loss at 5% below, and if it hits it, I'm gonna get out. If it goes up, I'll just collect the money. I'm like, bro, I wish it worked like that, man. I wish it worked like that. First off, why would you sell something that is paying a dividend stream, right? You're getting paid, and it drops 5%, and you're going to sell it. That don't even make sense, man. That don't even make sense, right? Like, so this is a guy, and it's not to pick on him, and if you're on here, dude, I'm not picking on you. I really want you to understand that you're seeing it very immature. This is like being in 3rd grade, and you're looking at some big people stuff, and you don't quite get it. Because it don't work like that. You can't buy something that pays a 10%, 9%, 8% dividend yield, and it drops 5% and you bail. You're going to lose all your money, man. It's because it don't work like that. You can't. All these markets, they're volatile, man. In any stock, if you go look, what's the 52-week high and the 52-week low? Now, right now, it may be a little out of whack, but in normal conditions, what's the high and what's the low? Go look at AT&T. I bet you see about a 50% range. Go look at 3M. I bet you see go look at Procter & Gamble. Go look at CSX Trains. Go look at Ford. I could just go company after company after company after company after company. Go look at the high and the low. And let me know how that little 10% stop loss worked for you. You would be blown out, man. You would never collect dividends, right? So he's trying to take a trading mentality or a momentum trading and trying to apply it to like the wrong asset class. And it's just because he doesn't know. He doesn't know any better. And it's not to pick on you, bro. I just want you to understand that, like, you got to do a little more research, right? And it's the same with real estate. Like, you got to sit back and you got to do some research, man. And you got to know, okay, I buy this house, it's going to cash flow this much. It might not, man. It might not cash flow nothing. You might buy it and lose money for 3 years. And when I say lose money, maybe the total return you don't lose. Like the house appreciates, the loan gets paid down, and that spread is what makes you rich, not the cash flow. Cash flow is nice, don't get me wrong, I like it. But the spread of the property appreciating and the loan getting paid down, that money is growing tax-free, man. So now imagine you got 10 houses. 10 houses. And even if you break even on those houses, you don't make no money, no cash flow. All 10 houses go up a little, right? All 10 houses, the loan goes down a little. Now multiply that times 10, and it's tax-free. Boom. And then when you decide you don't want to do it anymore, tap out, they give you all that money. And you're like, well, damn, yeah, day to day, month to month, year to year, you may not have made any money. There's years that my net worth's gone up $300,000, and on my taxes, I didn't make shit. It was all on paper, man, right? And so a lot of times people are like, well, when do you want to sell your Bitcoin? I don't want to sell my Bitcoin. Why would I sell it, man? I don't want to pay taxes, right? I'd rather borrow against it. I just borrowed against my Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. I bought Ethereum, mostly. I bought more Ethereum than I did Bitcoin recently. Why? I wanted to make sure that I thought the bottom was in, which I think it's in. I could be wrong. I don't want to borrow against my Bitcoin when the price is high. I want to borrow against my Bitcoin when the price has been smashed, and then add to it, and then let it come up, right? Maybe I'll trim a little, maybe not. And then over time, I'll knock that loan out, right? What happened? Next time it gets smashed, I'll have more Bitcoin than last time it got smashed. So every time it drops 50%, I got more Bitcoin than last time. I could borrow more than last time. I'm only paying the interest. Shit, I'll take that loan all day. Give me an interest only loan. I'll buy $1 billion of Ethereum. Interest only? Come on. Let's see. Let's see. What's that, Professor? Borrow from Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. Yeah, that's what I did this week, man. Now I'm not advocating everybody else do that. Don't do that unless you believe in the asset class. If you're going to get scared, don't do that. And the reason I did do that is I thought Bitcoin's breaking out. I think Ethereum is obviously breaking out. I think they're going higher. And to be honest, I ain't got the money, man. I just put $9,000 into furnishings in here. I put $14,000 into a rehab in the property, and I just paid $312,000 in cash. So I'm about whatever the fuck that number comes to, in here, right? So that I could be at the ocean. So I got to use my assets to buy more assets, right? So that, to me, that was a good time. And the price of Bitcoin has come way down, right? And the price of Ethereum has come way down. So that was my logic on that. I don't want to miss the move. I think it's still stupid cheap, man. Even if it comes down some more, man. That was the other thing I borrowed. I borrowed against my M1 Finance account at 2% to buy the S&P 500 triple leverage fund at the bottom, baby. At the bottom. Bought UPRO and TQ. Bought the box at the bottom on borrowed money in a triple leverage fund at 2%. Come on, man. Come on, man. 2%. I wish they'd have gave me $1 million at 2%. Do you buy any other? Yeah, I got a bunch of altcoins, man. I bought some Mana this week. I bought some Engine. What else did we buy? A whole bunch. But I own a bunch of them, man. Most of it is Ethereum and Bitcoin. You just need to, yeah, I think you got to have a minimum of 10K in there to borrow against it, though. I could be wrong on that. You want some Uber leaps. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what they're selling for, though. I'm ready to pull equity out of one of my homes to get me a tractor to start pulling. A tractor? For business. I mean, if it cash flows, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. Part of me says I don't like that trade because I like to, when I borrow on an asset, I'd like to buy more assets. But if you already are hauling truck, you already have a business that's cash flowing, and you can do that, and you're pretty confident you're going to get a return. That would be cool. If you told me, hey, I've never driven truck, I've never been a truck driver, I don't have any routes, I don't know what I'm doing, then I would say don't do that. But if you have a legit business that's making money, then yeah, I would borrow against assets if it would improve the business. But I would never borrow against my assets to do an unproven business. I'm just not, and I'm not alone in that. Mark Cuban, if you ever listen to Mark Cuban, he'll say the same thing. Like, because sometimes people say, well, I'm going to borrow against this and I'm going to start a bid. I'm like, you ever made any money doing that? Like, go make some money first, man. How's Skydweller Fund spent all day at the IRS yesterday and got 30 racks from them? No shit. Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, Skydweller's moving up, man. I bought a bunch of not a bunch, but I've been adding to it. Every sell-off, man, I'm adding to that triple leveraged account. When it gets up big, I'm gonna bang it out, man, and I'm gonna go buy something nice. I say that, I probably won't. Explain that leverage bet again. All right, M1 Finance. Now, don't do this with your fucking retirement, man. I'm talking to a lady, and she's like, well, I'm just gonna put my retirement. No. This is not retirement money. This is speculative money. So this is the speculation, okay? And here's what it is. Here's the speculation. If you go back, and I've back tested this over 50 years, if you were to own the S&P 500 and bonds, boring, TLT, SPY TLT, over so many years, they've returned an average of like a 9, 11, 10, depending on what year you start, right? Well, let's bump that up. Let's use triple leveraged. And we can go all the way back to the beginning when they first started trading UPRO. And in technology, it's the TQQ. It's leveraged, which means there's risk. There's third-party risk, meaning they're doing some shit to get the leverage that me and you don't quite understand. So there's bank risk, right? So I know a lot of you guys like to stake your Bitcoin and Ethereum. I hope you realize there's risk there. You could lose all your Bitcoin and all your fucking Ethereum and nothing happens to Bitcoin or Ethereum. Meaning the people you have at stake with get hacked. The people you have at stake with steal it. The people you have at stake with go bankrupt. You don't know what third-party liabilities they have. That you don't have any idea what the fuck they're doing with your Bitcoin or Ethereum. So you guys trying to get 3% and 4%, all right. But also, you run the risk of getting 0%. Just keep that in mind. Don't be fucking shocked when it happens, okay? Because you're taking your asset and you're putting it in the hands of somebody else. You don't know what they're doing with it, man. So I'm not a big fan of staking. If you want to stake some, cool. But if you're staking all your Bitcoin, all your thing, I think you're crazy. Now, if you don't have as much as I have, mine's over 6 figures. Chris's shit sounds like in the millions. And no way in hell I'd stake $1 million in Ethereum. Unless I had 3 million. If I had 3 million, I might stake $1 million. But there's no way I would stake that much, man. It's risky, man. It's not without risk, bro. So, the risk trade is, in M1 Finance, you can borrow against your account at 2%. 2%. I think they just bumped it to 2.5 because the Federal Reserve just raised interest rates. They bumped it a quarter point or 50 basis points. They're going to bump it too. As interest rates go up, they're going to bump you everywhere. Car payments, house mortgages, credit cards, and borrowing against your assets. So what I do is I buy equal amounts. UPRO, TQ, and bonds. Bonds have been going down. That's okay. This is part of the balancing process. It's okay that some of this shit's going to go down, right? So I want 1/3. Now I've added Bitcoin to this little pie. So it's 30% in the TQQ, triple leveraged ETN, electronically traded note. Whatever the NASDAQ does, it does times 3. Okay? If it goes down, it's times 3. Now the UPRO is the S&P 500 and TMF is the 3 times bond. I put equal money and then I added BITO, which is the Bitcoin ETF, right? Boom, there you go. That's 10%. So guess what? It's technology, S&P, bonds, and Bitcoin. When you put $100 in there, it automatically spreads it out for you. Now you can control it if you want. You can turn off the auto invest. I would highly recommend when you're first doing it, don't worry about that. You just need to build the account up, man. Just get some damn money in there. People trying to like, I got $900. Should I put? Don't. That's too. It's not worth the mental pain. Get the money in there, man. And then when we get into 10,000, 20,000, once it gets going, well, bonds are on a 27 RSI. Shit, I might want to load that up a little bit, right? Well, when the TQ came down, the UPRO came down. I want to load that up a little bit. Now, M1 Finance has a very cool thing. You could just hit a button and bam, it rebalances it for you. So you could just wait once a month, or when shit gets out of whack, if one of them runs up high and the other doesn't, hit the button. It rebalances it for you. And you just keep letting it go forward. Guess what? 70% of the time, the stock market goes up. So here's what I did. Once I got over 10 grand, I stopped adding every day. Well, I still add. I just turn off auto invest. Whenever the market gets crushed, I'm back to banging it every day. Banging it. Well, here's what I did. I went and borrowed against it last week at 2%. I said, give me the TQ, give me the UPRO, give me bonds, man. Do what you do. And then 10% in Bitcoin. Now we're going up. So that's my plan. Every sell-off, I'm going to borrow against it at 2%. I might trim some, pay back some of the loan. I don't know. Do you get a mortgage plus a rehab loan? No, I rehab it myself, man. Don't be a little bitch. Roll your hands up. Get your hands dirty. I know you're not used to that. That goes for you ladies too. Get yourself in there with a paintbrush, man. You're not so busy you can't do some work. If you got to get a loan to rehab a house, you need to take your ass over there and work on it. There's no need to get a loan for a rehab. Now you get into some bigger projects, maybe you need to. Stable coins usually have the best yield. Yeah, but bro, you guys act like that shit is not without risk, man. I don't know if it's because you guys are young and nobody's bitch slapped you yet or stole from you, but all those stable coins are fucking risk, man. All that yield you're getting, you don't even know how they're giving it to you. Everybody's like, oh yeah, they're loaning it out. To who? Fuck, for all you know, they're loaning it out to a hedge fund that didn't loan that out, and loan that out, and loan that out. And it's a house of cards, man. I have a 16-acre farm approved for 64 low-income housing What would be the first step in development process? That I wouldn't do that. You're out of your fucking mind. You don't know what you're doing. I would not do that. That's a good way to go broke. Let's see. Developing property like that is a good way to go broke, man. Seriously. I'm just being real with you. It's a good way to lose all your money. Have you developed any properties at all? I mean, what are y'all saying to do instead of stable? Put it in Bitcoin? Dude, Bitcoin goes up an average of 200% a year. What do you guys need 4% for? Are you retiring that? No, I'm not retiring that. I'm just telling you, man, everybody I've ever met in real estate that went broke was a developer or a flipper. That's another stupid thing to do, a lot of flipping. You know, I'm not saying every flip is stupid. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But there's no flippers on the Forbes 400 list. I don't want to do that. That's just what it's approved for. Yeah, well then don't do it, man. Don't do it. I might partner up with somebody else or go smaller. I mean, that's, geez, dude. What are you going to do if they get halfway through that and your contractor goes bankrupt because he's fucking his girlfriend and his wife sues him and now he can't pay, he doesn't make fucking payroll and you got all these guys and the concrete was subpar because he hired some fucking Mexican, doesn't speak English, who fucked you over and used shitty concrete. Now your base is all jacked up and the plumbing's wrong. And like, dude, I could give you a million horror stories in real estate, man. A million of them. Man, I had a buddy had an apartment building. They hired these fucking guys. They didn't even speak English. They get in there. They fucked it up. The whole driveway was a complete disaster. It's a $75,000 driveway, and the guy he hired to do the driveway outsourced it to a guy who outsourced it to a guy, and he ended up fucking eating 75 grand because the guy's not even here legally. So what are you gonna do? Sue the guy's not even here legally? Like, you get what I'm saying? That's real fucking life, man. When you get into developing shit like that, you better make sure you got it tight. That's way above my pay grade, man. I'm just a simple man. I've seen some serious horror stories in that game. Will the housing market become a buyer's market? No, bro. You're not buying now, you're not gonna buy then. So what does it even matter? You own any properties now, you ain't gonna buy them when it comes down. First off, the interest rates are gonna go higher and the bank ain't gonna loan you money. Let's see. No, I don't think they're coming down anytime soon. Why do you have 16 acres? I mean, you might look at partnering up. I mean, you might tell me to fuck off and go figure it out. And maybe a year from now, you're like, hey, Gerald, I made all this money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might look into it. There's a book out there. I'm trying to think of the name. I had about 12 acres that I was looking at developing on. And I decided against it, man. And I'm trying to think of the name of this book. And that's what this book does. It takes you through the development process. Oh, depending on what state you're in, you got to get all kinds of land surveys and mineral things and checking for toxic dump. And like, you got to go through all this bullshit, man. Like, it was, to me, it was just like, fuck that. I'm just going to go buy some houses and fix them up. I'm just going to go buy beach condos. That looks easier. What do you think? The correction is over. Yes, of course it's over. Obviously, you haven't read my book, sir. I'm going to pretend like I'm not fucking insulted by your question. So I'm going to pretend like you didn't just insult me, sir. I've spent 2 years writing a book, most of my life trying to fucking get it out to you, and you're too lazy to read it. Thanks, sir. Do I think the correction is over? Well, we're in a stage 2 breakout, so if I was to say, no, the correction's not over, I wouldn't even be following my own strategy. So now you think I'm a liar, apparently. You must be challenging my integrity, sir. I don't even like you now. Will you be putting out any more products concerning finances? I loved your book. Oh, thank you, Queen. You have my money flow book? I got a couple trading courses. I don't know how deep you need to go in the finance. I think the free ebook pretty much covers it, man. We're in a stage 2 breakout. Everybody that doesn't believe that are anti-money flow, and they are the fucking enemy. If they don't buy this rally, they are the enemy. Because guess what? It's a stage 2 breakout until it's not. You say, well, what if it goes down? Then it's not. and then I'll change my tune. But in the meantime, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to buy and believe in my system. Have a little bit of conviction. So, anybody who doesn't believe in this rally, stop talking to them. Don't listen to them. They're the enemy. Especially if they're in my group. Somebody says that in my group, I'm just blocking you. Immediately. Boom, blocked. No more conversating with you because you obviously are on a different team than we are. So if you're in a stage 2 breakout, it's going up. And you assume it's going up until it doesn't go up. There's no point in having a strategy if you don't believe in it or don't buy into it. There's no point. And so if they don't believe it, then they're on the wrong fucking team. They need to be somewhere else. Right? Right? I mean, you tell me. Look at all the crossovers, support, multiple sectors too. Right. Now, does that mean it can't come down? No, absolutely not. Shit could stall out tomorrow, man. Could stall out tomorrow and turn and go down. Then they'll be like, told you so. All right, smart guy. But, I don't know where it's going, but I know right now we're going up. Look, it was a simple question. For some of us, this is the first time around the block. Stop picking on me, Gerald. You're very mean. You're a very mean influencer. Sitting at the beach making fun of people. That's not cool. Gerald just sits around making fun of people, yelling at them. Sitting at the beach, yelling at people. It's not very nice. The guy said to me, it's the first time I ever seen you. That's because you're fucking late. You should have been here already. Because I'm pretty sure God told you to come sooner. And you say, well, how can you say that? Because God favors me. He doesn't favor you? God favors me, man. I don't know about you. I am favored by God. I'm highly blessed. I don't know about you. I am highly blessed. And I believe that He gives us anything you want, man. You say, that's not true. That is true. I wanted a beach house. He gave me a beach house. Now, it took 16 years. Sometimes the path, guess what? It took a long time to get the people of Israel out of Egypt. Took a minute. Some of you guys waiting around, you say, I gave it 90 days, Gerald. What do you think? I'm like, a whole 90 days, huh? Wow. Amazing. You're amazing. A whole 90 days. So, hey, Gerald, I'm 25. The best investment for starting out is to get debt free, baby. And if you're a girl, I don't mean that in an inappropriate way. It's 25. I got to be careful because I get people that stalk me and get mad. Hey, Jerome, 25, the best investment for starting out right now is in yourself. The best investment is in you. You say, what do you mean? Knowledge. Like Ty Lopez says, knowledge. The best investment would be to get debt free. The best investment would be to look at who's around you, who you're spending your time with. The best investment might be to work on your working at the gym, man. Your butt now be getting big. And you're like, but I want to buy some stocks, and your butt's growing larger and larger. Really, you need to just get your butt down a little bit. Because it's true. What's up, Lisa? It's true that pretty people make more money. I'm just being honest. Why do you think I make so much money? Because I'm pretty. Despising stage 2 breakout. Yo, talking about a correction. Exactly. Anybody talking about a correction right now is the enemy of the money flow. Is the enemy. So some of you ladies and men, best investment might be in the gym. Just saying. Or if you got your money right, I'm kidding, and you got your debt, usually knocking out debt is the best thing. But let's say you got that knocked out. Wall Street. Who's that? Wall Street, UK. I love the UK, man. But once you got the debt under control, or at least a plan to knock it out, if you don't know a lot, man, get into chapter 10 of my free ebook. I honestly believe this is the best way to get started, not only trading, but investing. Chapter 10 of my free ebook is called Dog Power. And the cool thing about that is it's going to show you a strategy on how to buy 10 stocks. And you can simplify it into 5 stocks. And these are good companies, solid companies. And I'm telling you, as you buy them, you're going to start to follow the markets every day. And then imagine if we became friends, because I follow the market even when you don't. When you're busy and you're spooning with your boyfriend, I'm looking at stocks because I don't have a life. And when you're like doing dumb shit, I'm just, where's the banana? I I sent that to a friend of mine in New Orleans. He's a new friend. Like I'm not, I've only recently started meeting people in New Orleans. So I'm sitting there. I thought that shit was funny, right? So I send it to my buddies in New Orleans. I just send it to them. And the one guy, he like got offended, dude. He's like, "Why are you sending me this gay stuff?" Like he was like legitimately offended. And I was like, "It's funny, dude. You don't think that? If you don't think that's funny, something's wrong with you, man." I thought that shit, and that guy was wearing it with confidence, dude. I was like, "Man, I need some of that confidence. I gotta get that guy on my live." He's just like strutting down the beach, man, with a banana hammock. Think of that. That you gotta have confidence. Faraz, what's up, man? Faraz has been to my house in New Orleans on my next live event, man. I'm gonna try to make the next one a little smaller, I think. But we're gonna have another one coming up, man. I'm trying to bring in Professor hashtag no more spooning. Now I'm not saying don't spoon all the time, but you can't spoon more than you watch the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. That's for sure. We're gonna be doing another event. I got to get back to Texas. I got to get some houses up, and then I'm gonna finalize a date. I'm thinking. I feel like 60 days is enough notice, right? 45 days. The problem is it can sell out fast because we're doing it at my house. So there's not a lot of seats, Focus debt like recommended, no squirrels. Yes, 100%. You can't go wrong knocking out the debt, man. I'm serious. You'll have time. And if you just got that trading bug, put $1,000 in there and trade. 60 days, hell of a time. I feel like a long time, right? To me, 60 days feels like forever, dude. Just give me a month. That's all I need to be. Yeah. So last time, Faraz was there, Professor was there. I'm fixing to release that video, Professor. I just need a little editing time. If I had an editor, it would have went faster. If you have $1K to invest, honestly, I wouldn't invest. What's up, Lisa? Thank you, Lisa. I wouldn't invest. What we got to figure out is how much can you invest every. Well, I shouldn't say you shouldn't invest. If you're debt free, then invest. If you're not debt free, put that 1K toward your debt. Seriously. Have you ever been to Pensacola, Florida? Yeah. My friend Robert's from there. Robert at Hustle Nation. He's a real estate investor. He's from there. I had dinner with him the other night. This is Panama City Beach. A little different. I'm headed back to New Orleans, get into the Wealth Squad membership and learn. Did you just promote a different group on my fucking channel? I will fucking choke you, dude. Don't make me block you, bro. As close as me and Chris are, I will fucking block you. How dare you? How dare you use my platform to fucking next step, baby. You're dead now. I don't even know you. Dead to me. You're dead to me. I don't even know that guy. He doesn't even exist in my world anymore. Let's see. I'm teasing. Relax. I love the Wealth Squad. They know that. I'm just teasing. Let's see. Any advice on raising credit? Should we be paying off collections? Ooh, girl, you got money in collections. You need to attack that shit first. Not worry about investing. I'm teasing. It's alright. Joking season. I'm teasing. I would, if you got shit in collections, square all that up first. Professor says, mailing my book to you this week. Should I mail it? Don't mail it to me in Florida or New Orleans. Mail it to me in Texas. I'm going back to Texas on Tuesday. Or I'm working that way. I got to go to New Orleans first because, I can't just not leave New Orleans, man. So I'm going to go back to New Orleans for a couple days and then I'm going to head back to Texas. Probably on Friday. It's overwhelming. All my scenic routes are turning into business routes. Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah, mail it to me in Texas, bro. Also, I got some money flow hats coming out. We got some hats, baby. We got some hats. My man sent me the samples. I got to pick which one I like the best, and we got some money flow hats coming. I've had one for myself for a minute, but now we got some we can sell coming out, which will be great. Anybody? Let's see. Anybody got a real estate thing you want to go live with? Who wants to go live? I'm working on the black. All right, Jess, I see you with the black shirts. You've been talking to my wife too. She told me she wasn't doing any work on my house until I got black shirts, so I knew she had been talking to somebody. Do I trade options? A little bit. I don't like to publicly talk about my options trades because I don't believe most people should trade options. I don't think they understand stocks well enough to even trade options. I think you should trade for a good solid year, 2 years before you even bother with options. I know that's not a popular belief, but it was you. Yeah, we got some black shirts coming. I was wearing one yesterday. I have a lot of money flow gear that we don't sell just because we were testing it out or we were trying one thing and another, and then we ended up not going with it. What do you think of seller financing? I love it if you can get it. There's nothing better than seller financing if you could get it. Don't mess with options. Do yourself a favor. Don't do that. Start trading. Come over to our side. The money flow side. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing, Chris. Don't get mad. Let's see. Although the Wealth Squad has bathrobes, man, I'm going to start doing some boxer shorts. Say MFG on them. Also agree so much, GP, it's insane. I say the same thing about options. Yeah, it takes time. Options are a great way to make a lot of money and lose a lot of money, man. Like a grandfather. She just called me a grandfather. Oh my God. I don't feel old now. When did you become a true believer in Bitcoin? A little over a year ago, I guess. It's been about a year. I don't want to misspeak. Once you get into Bitcoin, time gets kind of fucked up, man. He said MFG bananas. I don't think so, man. Somebody else is going to have to model that one. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I couldn't model that one, man. Maybe in my 30s. Yeah, no. Says you and Chris changed lives, yeah. I got a lot of good response on that last live I did with Chris. That was good. He's a good dude. And honestly, Chris is the one that put me on, man. I was putting my book out there, but if nobody knows who you are, it's hard to sell books, man. I try to tell people that if you're trying to be an influencer or you're trying to sell a course or a book, which is great. I love courses and books. Everything I got, I learned from a course or a book, man. I'm serious. Everything I learned from a guru, man. A lot of people talk shit about gurus, but everything I learned came from a guru. I didn't learn shit in high school or college. I mean, I learned some things in the Army, but everything I learned about the stock market, trading, real estate, managing money was from some guy on the radio or in the back of a magazine or a book or a course. And so I think it's an honorable thing, man. If you know something you can share with the world, and especially if you can make it, $100 or like Professor's book. What are you charging for your book, Professor? Which is beautiful, by the way. $100. Have you sold them all? Have you sold out of all your books? If not, let me know, man. Let me sell them for you or something. Because the cover is beautiful. You're making me feel bad. I'm gonna have to do a hard cover of the Money Flow now, just so I don't look bad. Yeah, it's beautiful. The book looks beautiful. He's a fancy fellow, though. I always try to one up us, man. Always trying to one up us, looking good. I'm so simple. That's my problem, man. I gotta get fancier. I'm gonna have to come spend like a month with the professor and just fancy myself up a little. Let's see. What's up, man? How you doing? Out of work, man. Beautiful. Do you really? Cool, man. That's cool. Nice. Barrett Gold. Geo, it's been going up. It's been going up. Right. Right. Uh-oh. We losing? Uh-oh. You froze up on me. You back? There you go. Yeah, company Wi-Fi heard you and they were like, oh shit, he's talking shit. Block it. Right, for sure, man. That's cool. I love it. Dude, I tell these kids that, man, I hear like, I'm in New York and I can't afford to like. I'm like, bro, you go to Alaska and make 100 on a fucking fishing boat. Like, if you just got to be willing to move. Right. Right. But a young guy go out there, live frugal, man. Girls on board too, stack some cash, and then move back to Des Moines, Iowa, or something. Yeah. Say there's one behind every tree, right? Right. Yeah. Mm. Right. Yeah, that's life in real estate, right? Ship breaks. Um, yeah, I was saying that this morning in Discord that like sometimes real estate, you need money from somewhere else to infuse into your real estate to kind of keep the shit going every so often. Right. You want to, but you know. Right. Right. It's tough, and I've put myself in that spot a few times. You know, once you get to like, I got like 17 properties, and I've done that where I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna take this money. I went and bought another house. I ain't got no money. I'm in there paying, and then 8 phone calls come in, and you're like, you know, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. 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 And it gives you a little time to pay it. Right, and you got to stay on it. You let that debt build, you got a problem. And right, and I've done that, man. I've done that where like the AC unit goes out, and they're like, dude, you got to have a new one. It's $3,000. I don't have $3,000. I'm worth $2 million, and I ain't got $3,000. Like that'll happen, and I'm like, fuck, I put it on a credit card. I'll knock it, and then 60 days later, I knock it out. You know, but. Right. Right.
Guy, like all that stuff, and it works out. But yeah, like
Right.
it's not easy to go those routes. Like, don't make those mistakes or think you're smarter than what people are telling you.
Right. And whenever I give advice, I'm usually just giving what I did when I fucked it up. You know. And,
Oh yeah.
And there's always
I remember because like
there's always the guy who goes, yeah, but why pay cash for a car? And I'm like, bro, yeah, you have money. This guy works at Walmart. Like, he should not be doing that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, or like you get a good job like me. If I really was in trouble, I'll just pick up some overtime. It's not that big a deal. I'm pretty lucky in that route. But yeah, I would say, because before I really got to following you and started understanding kind of like the money flow and watching, like what happened was I went into my 401k and it was like a negative like return or something, probably because it just got hit.
Right.
And I'm like, well, shit, I'll just go buy this duplex. That's the You know, well, they don't tell you about the taxes and all the bullshit that came with that. I mean, it worked out. It got me into real estate. So I would probably do it again in hindsight, but I would go a different route for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's not all cash flow and glamour. That's for sure.
No. God. Honestly, man, I think, like, I'm at, like, my fourth property. I don't know, man. Like, if you're really breaking even, like, if you really get into the numbers,
right,
like, you're probably making money, but you're dumping some of it back into it. New walls, new floors, new fridges, new, like, she called me today. She needs a new washing machine.
Right.
Like, calling Home Depot. Oh, that's 4 weeks away. Like, oh, all right. But
and then when you get, like, when you get to 10, and I was at 10, and I'm making cash flow on all of them, so this money's coming in every month. There's a problem every month, right? But if you catch a few months where there's no problems, like, every once in a while I'd have like a 6-month run, no phone calls. Money, 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 money. And then all of a sudden it's like the bottom falls out.
At that time you're like, I'm a genius, I got this.
Yeah, like this real estate shit's easy. And then, yeah.
Well, and then like the single family thing, like on those, no problems. Those people almost make it their house. Like they live there, like I have one lady's been there like 3 years, another guy's 2.
Right.
And they're just like, it's their place. Or I would say the apartment is definitely more
turn.
Hey, this is growth. Like I don't,
right.
You know, I don't know how to check my P trap.
Right.
Under my sink. You need to come do that.
I had a tenant stay 13 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
They never called me for anything. It was their house in their mind. Like, almost never. I mean, something big, they'd call me, but handles and all the bullshit that, you know, people tend to call, they don't call for that. Because they don't want you to raise their rent. They don't want you to move them out. So if you're calling me a lot, I want to get rid of you. Like,
yeah, what do you think on the rent bump thing? Because, like, I know I was market like 3 years ago, and, like, on those steady tenants, I'm a little hesitant to try and needle them out of 20 months or 50 months. It's like, well,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
I have a rule. I mean, if it's been more than 2 years, I got to bump you.
Okay.
And Dave Ramsey, one time I was listening to him, and he has a rule. Every lease, it's got to go up at least $10.
Okay.
Nobody's moving out over $10.
Oh, I got you.
And you think about someone's been there 9 years, they're going to sign 9, 10 leases. You know, you got to get it going. You can't leave, you know. The other thing, one of the problems that I ran into with real estate too is I start to identify with everyone. So like, oh, she's a single mom with 2 kids. And then next thing I know, I'm running a fucking charity case. I got, oh, that guy's a veteran like me. Oh, that guy's got a bad foot. Oh, that guy, and then pretty soon I got 14 people I'm subsidizing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's hard not to, man. I would say that's because you feel bad for these people.
You feel bad. Yeah. I'm sitting at the beach, and why are you late on your rent? You owe me $30. Right? But it's a business, man. If you don't run it like that, it's almost hard for them too, because if you don't collect your money and you don't make your money, you can't fix anything at the house. I mean,
so I have had good luck with a Veal. Like I use a Veal or like Cozy for a lot of my rent collection.
Right.
And I do like the fact that like if you're late, like it just sends you that. Like I got one guy, he's opening a business, he's a mechanic. So I mean sometimes, you know, he's waiting on that 90-day pay. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even talk to him. It sends in that late fee, he just pays it.
Right.
Like it's not a thing. So I do like that. I read that book, Landlording on Autopilot. I really liked that book. That helped me.
That's a good idea. And what's funny, I've only recently gone to now I'm doing that too. All my payments come electronic now. And it's all automatic. I don't talk to them, and when they're late, it sends them a notice. It's not even me talking to them anymore.
Yeah, I feel like people are a lot less confrontational. And then, you know, like I'll usually call them and say after that, be like, hey man, what's going on? And usually they're like, oh, no problem. But the bill's already there. You're not trying to talk them out of your $50. Like it's already on their bill. Right. It's like the telephone company.
And then around the 10th, I call them and go, hey, I assume you're moving out this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that starts that conversation, you know?
I've only had to evict one person, man, and it was like an ex-girlfriend situation, right? When I first got, like, my first deal. So I moved over to the other house. We're all happy and loved and shit. Like, she gets in she all like starts doing drugs and all this craziness, and like, so like, and it's right down the street from where I live, so I had to like actually evict her. So I got that lesson.
You evicted your
before I even
ex-girlfriend.
got into real estate, like before it even got going. And I like, she's cool now, so I'll tell her like, you know, I owe you a thank you because I would have never even got into it without that.
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. It's funny in hindsight, but it was horrible at the time.
The only thing would have made that better if it was your ex-wife.
Oh yeah, yeah, you paying their bills and shit.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. That would be painful. But yeah, no, I think real estate's a good way to go. I don't do the trading. I don't really have time, I feel, to dedicate. I do buy and hold.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've got 60 grand stuck in there in about 2 years.
That's beautiful. And that, if you think about it, that's a backup for your real estate. Like if you really, really, really need money, it's right there.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm hesitant to hold my cash there because, like, you know, Russia invades Ukraine, and it's like suddenly VTI doesn't look so good, like they tell you on all the podcasts. You know.
Yeah, the more money, the more you get, the easier that gets too, though. Because I got like $1 million in the market. When I started, I had $250, and let's say it falls to $650, I can probably still eat dinner. I mean, yeah. So the more money you get, the easier that gets too.
And I would say, like, the switch I noticed this year is now when it goes red, I'm excited.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to cost average this in better.
Your mindset starts to change, right?
Yeah, and I learned a lot from you this week with your, when you were talking about reallocating, because I was kind of like, I want to be a dividend investor, so never sell a share. And you were like, dude, Exxon's like the 80